few structures that are related to the lymphatic system. Normally, you would see on the heart, you would see the thymus like right in this area here, but it's not here. This is an adult, and usually they're very small adult. This is the thyroid gland, which is not part of it, all right? Right here, I can point to it on the model. Right there is the right lymphatic duct right there. And that's where it's ducting into the right subclavian vein right there. There's the left subclavian vein, and right there would be the thoracic duct going in. Okay, so that's shown there as well. Did I miss the spleen? All right, there, I broke it off. Yeah, I broke off the spleen. Okay, this fell to the ground, and all right, so this normally, they're not attached in real life, but okay, so right here is the pancreas, all right, and so the pancreas kind of goes right there, and the spleen is found right there, okay, so that's the spleen, okay. Let's see if we can find on here the, yep. Oh, okay, so on the front here, this would be the small intestines here, and then here's where the large intestines begin, all right, and this actually comes out to show, right here is the valve, which we'll talk about, where the food comes into the large intestine. But right down there in that recess, right there, and then on the other side, you can see it, number 5 is the, what's called the vermiform appendix. Vermiform means worm-like. So that's the vermiform appendix right there. Okay, so that's the structure there. Let's see tonsils on it. Let's see right here. So right here, okay, here are lymphatic vessels. Here in green, usually green is the color for the lymphatic system. Yellow is for nerves, red and blue for arteries and veins. But right here are lymphatic vessels coming in, and then these right here are the left inguinal lymph nodes. Okay, let's see them on this side. All right. Let's see anything else that's lymphatic. All right. So if I can, Tyler, kind of jump where you're sitting there, and I didn't have anything over. Okay, so here's the digestive system here. And we talked about this part with the respiratory system. So if you have your papers, we can create a list of the pathway of food through the digestive system. But follow up with the lymphatic system, okay? Right here is, this would be, no, right here is the lingual tonsils right here, okay? And I believe this one is the pharyngeal tonsil. This is actually the soft palate here, so I don't see the other one. But this would be the lingual tonsil right there. That's the pharyngeal tonsil.
Is that the first one on pathway, or we're not doing the pathway?
We're not doing the pathway yet. All right, so start the pathway. Don't see anything else lymphatic. Oh, there's the appendix there. Now in this case with the liver and stuff, green is bile, the color of bile, so it's not necessarily lymphatic. All right. So if we were to start a pathway of food through the digestive system, I guess we'd start right here with the lips. So that'd be number 1. All right. Now you go past. You don't go past every tooth first. You go past the front teeth. Anybody know what those are called? Incisors, right? So you would say whatever, incisors would be number 2. Okay. At that point, you enter into this right here, which is the oral cavity. Here's the tongue, but that's not part of it. The oral cavity here. All right.
So that's number 3,
That would be the oral cavity number 3. Okay. And so we follow it down here. Number 4 would be the oropharynx. Okay. Number 5 then is the laryngopharynx. L-A-R-Y-N-G-O. Bingo. Pharynx. N-G-O. Pharynx.
Bingo, what's his name?
laryngo was his name. All right, so the laryngopharynx, and then I joke about if it's me on the first date, I will usually suck in the wine through my respiratory tract and hack and cough to death. But anyway, normally the epiglottis would come down with the swallowing, and that's, we're making that part of the respiratory. So you have laryngopharynx, then the esophagus, all right, and comes down through here, through the thoracic cavity. The diaphragm would be right here, and then before entering into the stomach proper, there is a valve, if you will. The word for a muscular valve is a sphincter. All right, and so this, we'll call this valve area right here the cardiac sphincter.
That's number 7.
Okay, you say so.
Is it after esophagus?
Esophagus was what, 6?
Yes.
7 is the cardiac sphincter. All right, and then this immediate region here of the stomach is called the cardiac region of the stomach. All right, so everybody stop writing. Just stop. Let me go through that, and then I'll let you write. Okay, so I'll just show it to you so you can kind of see it visually. You know, like 1, 2, 3. All right. So I'll just say next. All right. So you have the cardiac sphincter here, this valve. All right. Then this immediate region right here is called the cardiac region of the stomach. Then this bulged part is called the fundus of the stomach. Then the body of the stomach right here. Then this part of the stomach is called, it's either called the pyloric region of the stomach or the pylorus of the stomach right here. Right. Now right here actually is a muscular valve, a very distinct one. This is called the pyloric sphincter. Okay. And then you enter into the small intestines. The first segment of the small intestines is called the duodenum. Anybody want to argue with me about how it's pronounced? I'll dismiss you immediately.
What?
Huh? You missed it. So the duodenum, right? Then the jejunum is the next segment, and then the ileum. All right. And so here coming down here, here's the last part of the ileum right here, and then there's another valve right here called the ileocecal valve, and the last part, cecal, refers to this sort of blind end here called the cecum of the large intestine. Another word for the large intestine is the colon. So here's the cecum of the large intestine. Then it goes upward, so that's called the ascending colon, right? Then it's going to make a turn. Now this turn has several names, right? Because it's near the liver, you can call that turn a flexure or the hepatic flexure. Okay? And there's a couple names. I'm not sure if the book calls it the hepatic flexure or not. But there, the hepatic flexure there, so it flexes and bends. Then it goes across as the transverse colon. Then it bends here where the spleen is, so that's called the splenic flexure, right? Then it goes down as the descending colon. And then it's going to make, you can't see it, it makes an S-shaped curve. See the S-shaped curve there? All right, so there's like the word for S-shaped is sigmoid. All right, so that's called the sigmoid flexure there. And then the sigmoid colon, which is this S-shaped curve in it, right? Then the rectum is next. So that's right here is the rectum. And then there's the anal canal, and then the anus. Okay? That's it. That's the pathway. All right?